So let's start with the first question. ABC enter into a partnership where A is investing 800 for 4 months, B 1200 for 8 months, and C invests 1400 for 10 months. They gain 1340 together. Find the share of A. So how can you do this?
Also, do we assume that the entire investment is for the entire year?
Yes. This gain is at the end of the year.
Okay. We'll find a ratio of their profits.
Yes. So what is the ratio coming down to?
And
I think this should be the ratio,
8 is to 24 is to 35, yes.
right? So share of A is going to be 8 parts of,
1340.
8 parts out of what? 59,
67.
67. So this generally you will always get a number which gets directly cancelled over here, and that is the answer is going to be 160. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, let's try this. This type we did last time. So if you want to try and tell me the answer.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, how do we divide the profit here?
So they have already said that profit is divided in the ratio 3 is to 1. So now for A, it is 4500 into 12. Correct?
Yeah.
For B, it is 3000 into some number of months that we don't know. And
Yeah.
this ratio should come down to 3 is to 1. So after writing this, what we can do is we can just eliminate all the common factors. So 0, 0 I eliminated, 15 threes are 15 twos are. So this is 3 12s are 36. So if
Hmm.
3 parts is 36, one part has to be 12. So for this
Okay.
to be 12, this has to be 2 6 are.
Yes.
So B is invested for 6 months, and that is why B joined after 6 months.
Okay. Yeah. 12 minus 6. Okay.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's try this. Are you trying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm just writing the solution so you can verify if what you're doing is right or wrong.
Yes. Is it 4560?
It should be 4560. Yes. Did you understand how?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Now I'll move ahead. Okay. Let's try this. I mean, you try. I'm writing down the solution here.
Ma'am, how do we do it? I'm not understanding exactly.
Okay. So this is the ratio of their capitals.
Yes.
This is the ratio of their profits. What you need is the ratio of their time.
Time.
Correct.
Yes.
So here what I'll have to do is I'll have to use my options. So for example, when I use my first option as 341 and when I multiply, can this ratio be reduced to 5, 3 and 1? Not possible, no?
No.
Then I tried my second option. Even this ratio cannot be reduced to 5, 3 and 1. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try my third option, which is 8, 4, 1. Okay. And 5 eights are 40, 6 fours are 24, 8 ones are 8. If I reduce it further, it is 5, 3 and 1. So this has to be the correct timeline.
Okay.
Understood?
Yes. Got it.
Okay. All right. Next, let's try this. The working efficiency of three people ABC is in the ratio 1 is to 3 is to 5, and their wages in rupees per unit are in the ratio 3 is to 5 is to 7. ABC gets 4,29,300 if they start the work together and finish together. How much amounts will they get respectively? Okay. So basically, again, when I talk about three people, their working efficiencies, their speed of working, and wages in rupees per unit is what they get per unit produced. So the salary that they get ultimately will directly depend on these two factors. Do you agree with this?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
mean, more the efficiency, more the salary.
Yes.
And also more the wages in rupees per unit, more the salary.
Yes.
So because both of these things are directly proportional to the salary that they will be receiving, it is nothing but same as investment and time period, because both are directly proportional to profit. So you will just have to take their ratios directly So here the ratio is going to be 3:15:35.
35.
So now how much amounts will each one of them get? See here, one way is of course I find 3 upon 43, I mean 53 into the value. Or if you see, this is the ratio is 3:15:35. So clearly my amounts also have to be in the same ratio, agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
So A and B should receive in the ratio 1:5, right?
Yes.
So I will see which options, in which option A and B is receiving in the ratio 1:5. So here if you see clearly, this is not 1:5.
The second one is also not.
This is also not. This can be, right? So if you see 243 into 5, so this is, but I will also, because none of these is also an option, I will also check this ratio. Now this ratio has to be 3:7.
3:7.
So ideally even this should satisfy.
Yes.
So if 3 parts is 1:15, 7 parts is what? Correct?
Yes.
So I can directly check 7 into 1:15 upon 3 will give you 405.
285.
So even this is satisfying. So clearly
Yes.
this has to be the answer.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Sixth question. Okay. ABC invested their money in this ratio, and the total amount invested by them was 80,000, and the profit earned was 40% of the amount invested. Then what was the sum of shares of B and C? I think this is uh, quite easy. So first of all, if the total amount is 80,000, what is the profit earned?
40% of
What
80,000.
is 10% of 80,000?
8,000.
40% should be
32,000.
32,000. Now they all are invested for the same time because there's nothing mentioned about the time. So clearly the profit ratio also has to be 3:6:7. Agreed?
Yes.
So I need to find the summation of B and C in the profit. So clearly B and C, the summation is 13 parts out of 16 parts. Agreed?
Yes.
Right? So directly your answer is going to be 26,000. No point finding 6 parts and then 7 parts and then totaling it up. Clearly, I can directly part 13 parts out of 16 also, and that will give me the same answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Okay. Next. This looks interesting. 3 people, A, B, and C, they entered into a partnership with this ratio of investments. I would always say that whenever you have ratio in terms of inverted fraction, always try to get it in the whole number ratio. So how will you convert this into a whole number ratio?
LCM.
So if I take the LCM of the denominators 2, 3, and 4, what will be my LCM?
12.
12. So my first ratio is going to become 6/12. Agreed?
Yes.
Second will become 4 by
4 by 12.
and third will become.
6 by 12.
So basically this ratio can be converted into 6:4:3. Always try to get it in this format. So similarly, tell me the converted format for time period.
4. So 4 is to 2 is to 1.
Very good. So now they have said the profits are in direct proportion of amount and time, that we already know. So clearly, what will be the ratio of A, B, and C for the profit? 6 4s are 24, 4 2s are 8, and 3 1s are 3. Correct? So if
Yes.
B's share is 30,000, what is B's share is asked. So if 24 parts is 30,000, 8 parts will be? See, 24 is 3 times
Uh, 1,10,000.
only 10,000, no beta?
Oh, sorry, I added it. Yeah, 10,000.
Yeah, clear?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Let's check this. A began a business with 4,500 and was joined afterwards by B with 5,400. So clearly A began 4,500, B joined 5,400. We don't know after how many months B joined, right?
Yes.
But A was in the business for 12 months.
12 months.
And at the end of the year, the profit was divided in 2:1. Correct?
Yes.
Or also similarly, I can first cancel off all the common factors. That is easier, right?
Yes.
9 fives are 9 6 are. So this is 5 12s are 60. So if two parts is 60, one part should be
30.
30. So if this is 30, it has to be 6 into 5 months.
5.
Correct. So B joined after how many months?
7.
Correct. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now what is this? Ajay started a firm with a capital of 28,000. Okay. After 5 months, Bowman joined him with a capital of 40,000. After 5 months, so Bowman was there for 7 months. Ajay was there for
Yes.
12 months. And Chirag was also added as a new partner with an individual investment of 56,000 after 7 months. So clearly he was there for 5 months. So at the end, 32,000 was the profit. What is the share of Bowman? So clearly I'll first have to
Cancel out the
common factor.
common.
Anything else which is common in all three?
No.
Yes, no, 7.
Or 2.
7 ones are, 7 fours are, 7 eights are.
Okay. Yeah, 40 was not getting cancelled out, so that's why.
So still now 4 also will be still cancelled. 4 ones are, 4 tens are, and 4
3s are.
twos are.
2s are and 12 will also get cancelled.
Yeah, so in fact, if I rewrite this, I'm getting this. Right? It will still be cancelled by 6 is to 5 is to 5. Yes?
Yes.
So for
Yes.
32,000, what will be the fraction of Bowman?
For Bowman, 5 by 16 into.
Yes. So that will give me 10,000.
Yes.
Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. One more question. Okay, I think this is related to averages. From here, we have all averages question. Okay, so we are done with partnership questions for now. Now, what we'll do is we'll go with slight theory of averages first, and then we'll go with questions of averages. All right. Let's begin with the concept of averages. All right. So first of all, how do you find average of a given set of numbers. What is the general formula to find average?
Sum of all the numbers upon the number of units.
Correct. So it is sum upon n is nothing but how you find general average for any set of numbers given to you. Right. Okay. So in averages, most of the questions can be solved using this formula itself. There is no other additional formula as per se. But what we are going to learn today is looking at this same concept in a slightly more different and a practical way, where in certain questions you don't need to apply this formula entirely and you can find the answers by a shorter method, because sometimes numbers can be really huge. So finding the sum, dividing by the number of numbers cannot be always easy, right? So we'll look at not all, but at least certain type of questions in this chapter can be solved in a shorter way. Fine. So first, to understand this, so I will need few inputs from your end. So tell me, if I have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what is the average of these five numbers in the way that you know?
15 by 5, so 3.
3 is the average, correct? Absolutely correct. So 3 is the average. Okay, if I have the numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
7.
7 is the average. Okay, if I have the number 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
6.
6. Right, if I have the numbers 3, 6, 9, 12.
That will be 30 divided by 4.
Which will be
So 7.5.
correct. Okay, so first of all, what are your observations from these examples that I gave you?
For consecutive numbers, usually the middle term is the average.
Okay,
And it's half of it's the middle number between the first and the extreme number.
correct. So for only the consecutive numbers, so even so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 are not consecutive, right?
Yes, but they're increasing, like in an increasing order.
So
So
equidistant from each other.
yes,
So for all the equidistant numbers, the average will always be either the middle number or the average of two middle numbers. Because if the numbers are an even number, you will not have one middle number, you will have two middle numbers. Do you understand?
yes,
Right? So for any set of consecutive numbers or numbers with equal distance, the average will always be the middle number. Are we clear with this one conclusion?
yes,
Okay. Now let's see one more conclusion. Let's say for the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your average was 3. Now, if you observe this set to this set, all my numbers have increased by 4. Do you see this?
yes.
So what happened to the average?
Increased by 4.
From this set to this set, all the numbers are multiplied by 2. What happened to the
Yeah,
average?
multiplied by 2.
So if all the numbers are changed uniformly, either added or subtracted or multiplied or divided, the average also gets changed by the same factor. Do we understand this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Pertaining to this, let us solve one type of question first. Let's say sum of five consecutive numbers is Let's say 120. Find the numbers. I'm sure you must have seen this type of question in school. So how would you solve this?
If the numbers are consecutive, then we take x, then x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3,
Correct. So x
and
plus x plus 1 plus x
sum
plus 2
is equal
plus
to 120.
x plus 4 is equal to 120.
Yes.
Okay, that is one way of solving it, but there is a easier way of solving it as well. Now let us see this. Basically, your summation of 5 numbers is 120, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what kind of numbers are these? These are consecutive numbers. So when the numbers are consecutive, what is the average of the numbers? You know, these are
120.
5 numbers and 120 is the summation. So what will be
Yes.
the average of these 5 numbers?
24,
So where should I place 24?
right in the middle.
Very good. So if this is 24, this will be
25. Oh,
20,
sorry, 23,
22.
22, 25, 26.
This is easier,
Yes.
right? Okay, let's do one more question. Sum of 5 consecutive multiples of 3 is 300. Find the numbers. Tell me how can you do this? Or tell me the answer directly if you want to.
So 60 will be the average, that is the center number.
Hmm.
And then before 60, we'll have 57. And before that, we'll have 54.
Perfect.
And then 63 and 66.
Understood?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So this is one approach to such type of questions. Okay. Now let us see one more shortcut, not for this type, but other type of questions. So should I move ahead to the other, I mean, should I erase what is there on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Um, let's say you told me that the average of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was 3, correct?
Yes.
Now, what is the meaning of the number which is the average? It means that, let's say, if there are 5 students in the class, okay, just imagine there are 5 students in a class. One student has 1 chocolate, second student has 2 chocolates, third student has 3 chocolates, fourth has 4, and fifth has 5. If I collect all the chocolates and if I try to distribute exactly 3 chocolates to each one of them, my distribution will be exact and complete. What do I mean by this? So let's say if I try to give the first student 3 chocolates, I'm giving him 2 extra. I'm giving this person 1 extra, 0 extra. I have to give him 1 less and I have to give him 2 less. So if you see that the error is 0.
Yes.
So the meaning of average is if I try to distribute that average number evenly, it is exactly possible. Are you getting?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now you tell me one thing. Let's say the 3 numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 numbers, sorry. Now I'm adding a 6th number to the list, which is 3. What will be the average of this six numbers? Calculate and tell me, don't worry.
The average will be increased by 3, so it will be 6.
Are you sure? Calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3.
It's 3.
When does average increase by 3? When each and every number increases by 3. I'm not increasing every number by 3. I'm just adding an element, sixth element.
Okay.
Understand the difference?
Yes.
But my sixth element was equal to the average, so my average has not changed. Do you see this?
Yes.
If I add a seventh element, 3, what will be my total average now?
3.
It will not change, correct?
Yes.
Why? Again, practically, I want you to imagine that there were 5 students in the class. Initially, I could distribute 3 chocolates to each of the 5 students. Now,
Yes.
if the sixth student enters with his share of 3 chocolates, has it disturbed my distribution?
No.
So my average will not change. If the seventh student also enters with his share of 3 chocolates, again has it disturbed my distribution?
No.
So again my average will not change. Do you
Okay.
understand this?
Yes.
But now if a 8th student enters with, let's say, 11 chocolates, so will the 8th student disturb the distribution?
Yes.
First thing, yes. Okay. So if this 8th student would have come with only 3 chocolates, my distribution would not be disturbed, right?
Yes.
But he is getting how many chocolates extra?
8
8
chocolates.
chocolates extra. So now these extra chocolates, because I want to find the average for the class, these extra chocolates will also have to be distributed evenly.
Yes.
So if I distribute these 8 chocolates evenly among 8 students, with each student, how many chocolates will increase?
The chocolates will increase by 8, so every student will get 1 chocolate extra.
So my new average is going to be,
4.
did you understand this?
Yes.
So I'm concluding it. If the new element that is added to the already existing list, if the new element is equal to the average does not change. If the new element is more than the average, you remove the old average part and you distribute the extra part in all the members, and that will be the change in the average.
Yes.
Similarly, if new element is less than the average, then also the average will reduce.
Okay.
Okay, now I'll give you few questions related to this. Let's say there are 10 students in the class with an average of 10 chocolates each. Doesn't matter how many they had initially, okay? But they have an average of 10 chocolates each. Okay. Now, listen to my question. This is my first question. One student enters the class and the overall average increases by 1. How many chocolates did this student bring in? One student.
20.
No. Think again. How did you reach to 20? Chalo, tell me that.
Because the average has increased by 1 and every student had 10 chocolates with themselves. So if that student had 20 chocolates, then 10 will be his own chocolates, and then for dividing equally,
Among
you
how many
will
students?
there will be 10x. Oh, 11th student. Okay.
Because he has to, when he distributes, he has to give to himself also, no? Because he is a
Yes.
part of the class now.
Okay.
Understood?
Yes.
See, this can also be done with our classic method. What will be the classic method? 10 students, 10 chocolates. So my total was 10 into 10, which was 100. Correct. Now 11 students and average has increased by 1. So average has become 11. So 11 into 11. Now the total is 121. The difference is 21. With these easy numbers, this is fine. But when the numbers are complex, this method will be lengthy.
Yes. Got
Understood?
it.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure. Isme, I'm giving you one more situation. Let's say one student leaves the class. So this is after 10 students and 10 chocolates. Huh? You don't consider the previous questions information. Okay. One
Yes.
student leaves the class and the average of the class reduces by 1. How many chocolates did he take with him?
19.
Very good. He took his share of 10, first of all, and then
Yes.
he took 1 from each, and that was 19. Understood?
Yes.
Okay, let's do one more. One student um, leaves the class and the average increases by 1. How many did he take with himself?
1.
Correct. So out of his share of 10, because he wanted others' average to increase, he gave 1 to each one remaining in the class. So he gave back 9 chocolates. So he took with himself only 1. I hope we are doing with this method and not the old method of the school method.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is when element is added or subtracted. You can always follow this.
Yes. Got it.
Okay. Now let me give you one more question. One student leaves and other enters. Average increases by 1. Um, how much did the other student get in?
So if the other student is leaving, then 9 students have 10 chocolates each.
Hmm.
And if the
So
other
goes
student,
and one comes in. It's a replacement.
yes. So
In fact, I would just change my question. How much more did the other student get than the first student? So basically, I want to know that if one student left and other student came in, it's a replacement, and because of this replacement, the average of the class increased by 1. So clearly, the other student must have got more chocolates than the students who left.
yes, so now the class average has become 11
Correct.
and there are 10 students.
Correct.
He got 10 more?
Yes, he got 10 more because let's say for the first student, if he had 5 chocolates of his share, he took 5. If the other would have entered with 5 only, the average of the class would not have changed.
Yes,
Do you understand this?
yes. So that one student leaves with his 10 chocolates.
It can be with his, see, when I'm saying 10 students has an average of 10 chocolates, does not necessarily mean that each student has 10 chocolates.
Okay.
So when I said that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can
Hmm.
distribute 3 among all of them. But somebody might have 5 also, somebody might have 1 also. The total does not have to change.
Okay.
Here, when I said if I say the average is increasing by 1, which means clearly the student is entering with 21 chocolates. No, student does not have 10 chocolates, but he has 21 chocolates. Do you get it? But the overall average, the effect will be +1.
+1. Okay.
In the second case, the student did not leave with only his 10 chocolates. He left with his 19 chocolates, which is why the average changed.
Yes.
Right? So 10, I'm just thinking as a ballpoint figure. If nothing, no change is happening, it is 10. But not necessarily the student only, if every student has 10 is not a compulsion.
Yes.
So in this case, if the student leaving and student coming in has the same number of chocolates, doesn't mean 10. It can be 5, 5 also, it can be 7, 7 also, anything but the same number. There will be no change in the overall class average. Do you agree with this?
Yes.
क्योंकि जितनी chocolates बाहर गई उतनी chocolates अंदर आई. So there
Hmm.
has to be no change. But if the average is increasing by 1, which means chocolates coming in has to
Has
be more
increased.
than the chocolates going out.
Yes.
And how much more? More such that each student can get 1 extra. That is 10 more.
Yes.
Understood?
Okay.
Yes? Okay. Clear with this concept? This is one of the most important concepts of averages as far as CAT is concerned, because this is not the way we have learned in school. Let's do one last thing before we move down to questions. All right. Now, if I want to find average of a longer list of numbers, let's say I'm just writing down random numbers, 53, 57, 65, 42, 58, 60. कितने हुए 6 numbers? Let's say 64, 55. Okay, so these are 8 numbers, random 8 numbers. So for how do I find the average of these 8 numbers? So one method is of course taking the summation of all the 8 numbers, dividing by 8, which is fine. Okay, but there is one more method of doing so, which is called error method. What is the error method? So in that error method, what I'll do is just observing these 8 numbers. Can you roughly guess that what should be the average closer to? Just a rough guess.
Somewhere mid-50s.
Okay, so rough guesses, I'm guessing that my average is closer to 55. Okay.
Yes.
So now let us see my error. So if my average is 55, my error should be 0, right? If I try to make each and every number 55, my error should be 0.
Yes.
Okay, so let us see that. So when I see 53, my error is -2.
-2 plus
5
2
plus 2,
plus
8
10
plus 10,
-13
minus 13.
plus 3
Wow, almost
plus 5 plus 14.
and 0. So if you see,
This will be plus 964.
oh yeah, sorry. Okay. So if you see clearly all these errors get cancelled out, you are just left with plus 14, right?
Yes.
Which means clearly average is not exactly 55, but average is slightly more than 55. How much more than 55? I will have to
14.
distribute whatever error I have between the numbers. So 14 by 8. So what will be 14 by 8?
1.7.
5, right?
Yes.
So even if you now try to calculate by a calculator, you will see that the average is 56.75. So again, depends on your guesswork. So let's say if I would have guessed 56 instead of 55, my error would have been very small.
Yes.
That's it,
0.5. Huh.
right? Okay, but your
Yes.
answer will not change.
Okay.
So if you have a longer list of numbers, you can always try this estimated mean method to find the average.
Got it.
Okay, all right. And the last concept is the weighted average. Have you done weighted average earlier?
Yes.
Yes, so let's say, for example, let's say if you have three subjects in a school, where in one subject you scored 75 marks, another subject you scored 80 marks, third subject you scored 65 marks. Now, generally with the subjects, sometimes in the school, the pointers are attached. So this is a 2-pointer subject, this is a 3-pointer subject, depending on how important it is for your curriculum. So let's say this is a 3-pointer subject, this is a 2-pointer subject, and this is also a 2-pointer subject. How will you calculate the average marks?
75 into 3 plus 80 into 2 plus 65 into 2 divided by 3.
Divided by? Not 3.
7.
7. So this will give you your average. Sorry.
Yes.
True, na? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the concept of weighted average. When different weights are associated with the numbers, you will have to multiply every number with the weight and then find the summation and divide it by the total weight to find the average.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear? Okay, great. So I think this is all about concept of averages. Are we clear up till here?
Yes.
Great. Then I think we can start solving the questions also. Now I will try that wherever shortcut is possible, I'm going to give you a shortcut. Where not possible, you will have to follow your traditional method. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
In the first 5 months, the sale of a store is, I'm just avoiding thousands, okay? 54,000, 62,000, 55,000, 40,000, 72,000. If the average of first 6 months is 60, what is the sale in the 6th month? Okay. How can you do this, Pele? You tell me, then I'll tell you.
So if the average is 60, then we can take the sum of the 5 months plus x and is equal to the sum of 5 months plus x into 60.
Okay. Or, do you know that for 6
Or
months?
the error method.
Yes, yes, very good. So what is the, so if I say that all these numbers, the average is 60, which means if I try to make every number 60, my error should be 0, right?
Yes.
So let's try to make every number 60. So what I'll have to do over here?
Plus 6.
Correct.
Minus 2. My plus 5. Then plus 20. And minus 12.
Correct. So first let us see the error here. Okay, what is the error I'm getting? 20 plus 25, sorry, 20 plus 5, 25, 25 plus 6, 31. 31 minus 2 is 29. 29 minus 12 is 17.
17.
So plus 17. So to compensate this, this has to be minus 17. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Only then the error will be 0. So if this is minus 17, what should be the number in this box?
77.
Very good. So my answer has to be
77. Okay.
understood.
Yes. Got it.
So the easier way. Okay. Next. Ramesh receives the following score in his test. What score does he need to earn in the last test so that the average is 90? Now, this you can find it.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me the answer.
$98.
Yes. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Next. Average monthly income of Amit and Binu is 13,500, and of Binu and Chetan is 17,500, and Amit and Chetan is 16,000. Find the monthly income of Amit. Okay. So यहाँ पे there are three people A, B, C. So when I say average monthly income of Amit and Binu is 13,500, what can we say about the total of Amit and Binu?
13,500 into 2.
Which will be
270,000. Yes.
then what can you say about Binu and Chetan?
Binu and Chetan will be 35,000.
Yes. And Chetan and Amit,
32,000.
correct. Now I'm asked Amit's income. So how do I proceed with this? I'm asked the value of A. So can you see these are a particular type of equation where every variable is repeated twice?
Yes.
So in such cases, it's a special case. Always add all the three equations. So what will you get on the left hand side? 2 into
Wait.
A plus B plus C. Yes.
Yes.
And the right hand side would be
27 plus 35 plus 32.
which will be
94,000.
which means A plus B plus C will be
47,000.
where you already have the value of B plus C. What is B plus C?
35,000.
So what will be A?
47,000 minus 35,000. 12,000.
Do we understand this?
Yes. Got it.
Okay. So now if I have to find B, I know this equation. C, I know this equation, and it goes on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. The average age of a husband and wife who got married 5 years ago was 25 years at that time. The average age of the family, including the husband, the wife, and two children who were born during the interval, is 16 years now. How old are the children? Okay. So, first of all, if I talk about average age during their marriage, it was 25, right? Which
Yes.
means I can assume that both of them must be of 25 years, or 124, 126, whatever,
Hmm.
right? For husband and wife combined. So if I just talk about husband and wife, this marriage is 5 years ago. So if I talk about the present time is after 5 years. So after 5 years, what should be the average of husband and wife?
Plus 5, so 30.
Correct? So
Yes.
average of husband and wife should be 30, right? So the total of husband and wife should be 60. Do you agree with this?
Yes.
Doesn't matter individually what is the age of husband and wife, but in today's date, their total has to be 60.
Hmm.
Plus, how many children are born?
2.
Two children are born, and including two children and themselves, the average is 16. So, for four people, if the average is 16, what is the summation for four people?
64.
64, which means both the children have to be a total
Okay.
of 4 years.
Yes.
So, which option satisfies?
2 and 2 or 1 and 3.
Both of them satisfies. So, which will be the correct?
All of them have different ages, so 1 and 3.
Correct. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. The average weight of A, B, and C is 40. So, A plus B plus C is
40 into 3, 120.
correct. Where A plus B would be average weight of A and B is 735.
70. A plus B.
Correct. Which means C is 50. Right.
Yes.
B plus C will be
36 into 2. 72.
hmm. So B will be it was pretty simple,
Yes.
right? So average weight of B is 22. Sorry, the weight of B is 22. Okay. Next. See, this is a nice question. The mean of 50 numbers is 30. So the average of 50 numbers is 30. Later, it was discovered that two entries were wrongly entered as 82 and 13 instead of 28 and 31. Find the correct mean. Okay. What is the error? The error was 82 and 13. Means the total error was 95. Correct in the summation?
Yes.
And what was the correct part which should have been?
51.
59.
Oh, sorry, 59.
So now you tell me, the error is more or the correct part is more?
The error.
Which means the correct mean should be more than 30 or less than 30?
More than 30.
With the summation of 95, the mean is 30. So with the summation of 59 instead, the mean should be more or less?
Less.
First conclusion you understood?
Yes.
Clearly, these cannot be your answers.
Okay.
We will also find how to find the answer. यहाँ पे it was obvious because of the options. Now we will see what is the difference between the error and the correct mean. Because the difference will only create the change.
Yes.
So what is
36.
the difference? 36. So my new mean has to be lesser by how much? By the
36
error
by
when I distribute this change between the numbers. 36 का जो change है, I will have to distribute, no? Between the number,
yes.
right? So if I try to distribute, what am I getting? I mean, what I'll do is I'll multiply both by 2. I'll make this 72 and this 100. So it is
So
0.70.
0.72,
So 30 minus 0.72.
29.28.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So first of all, you have to find what is the wrong part and the right part. And the difference between that has to be distributed. But if right part is lesser, the average will reduce. If the right part is more, the average will increase.
Increase. Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay then. Moving further. Okay, this looks interesting. Let's read step by step. 10 years ago, the ages of a members of a joint family of 8 people added up to 231 years. Okay, so this is, let's say if I have to talk about timeline, this is 10 years ago for 8 people, the summation was 231. Are we clear up till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, 3 years later, which means at a -7 timeline. Yes,
Okay, so this is 3 years later means from the 10 years.
correct. Because right now we are talking about 10 years ago, then 3 years later, one member at the age of 60 years died, and a child was born during the same year. So, first of all, you tell me 3 years later, without anybody dying or being born, what should be the total of the what should be the total of the members?
24 years will add up. So 231 plus 24.
Correct? Because
Yes.
every member will grow by 3 years. So that gives me what? 255.
Yes.
Now somebody of age 60 has died and somebody is born in that year.
Hmm.
Do we understand this?
Yes.
So my total is 315. Clear with this? Okay.
How come 315?
Oh, sorry,
It's
sorry,
subtracting
sorry. I added by mistake. Sorry. Yeah, so it is going to be 195.
55. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Then after another 3 years, so at a -4 timeline from today,
Yes.
one more member died again at 60, and one more child was born during the same year. So now what should have been the change?
So there's also a child that was added that like 7 years ago.
Correct.
So he'll be 7. So plus 7.
Why will be
And
7? From
that
-7
child.
to -4, he has also grown by 3 years only, no?
Oh, yeah. 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 Okay.
So again, there are 8 people who has grown by 3 years. Understood?
Yes.
So plus 24. Do we get it?
Yes.
And again, a member at 60 has died.
Yes.
So 219 minus 60 would give you
159.
understood?
Yes.
Okay. What is the current average age of these 8 family members? So now to come to the current year, I will have to make each of them grow by
4 into 8, 32 years.
32 years. So 159 plus 32 will give me,
191.
so what is the average closest to, they have asked.
191 divided by 8. 23. Yeah.
Closest to will be 24. It will be
Okay.
23.89 or something,
Okay.
because they have asked nearest to.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood?
Yes, got it.
Very careful about the number of years and the number of people. Okay. All right. Moving ahead. Okay. A student scored marks in this ratio in 5 subjects having equal maximum marks. He scored 50% of the maximum marks in all 5 subjects taken together. In how many subjects he scored more than 55% of the maximum marks? Okay. So I know that each subject has equal maximum marks. So I am assuming that every subject has 100 as the maximum marks. So can I say my total maximum marks is 500?
Yes.
Now he scored 50% of the maximum marks in all 5 subjects taken together, which means total of all 5 subjects is
250.
250 on his scorecard, right? Where
Yes.
on each subject he scored in this ratio. So can I say if this is 5x, this is 4x, this is 6x, this is 8x, and this is 7x? Yes?
Yes.
So if I total it up, what am I getting?
30x.
30x. So if 30x is 250, x is 25 by 3,
8 point.
or I'll stick with 25 by 3.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm asked in how many subjects he scored more than 55% of the maximum marks. I know that maximum marks ka 55% is 55. So basically I need to check if I substitute X in all the subjects, in how many subjects he scored more than 55, right?
Ma'am, 55% of the maximum marks. So won't it be the maximum of total marks of
No.
500?
So in how many subjects, which means in how many subjects he got more than 55% of the marks. His total is already, his aggregate is already 50% that he scored.
Okay.
This 50% could come with one subject more marks and one subject less marks, right?
Yes.
Right? So in that
Okay.
way, in how many subjects he got more than
More
50.
than 55. Yes, got it.
So if I, let's say, put 5 into 25 by 3, which is, let's say, 125 by 3, is it more than 55? I could just see
Oh,
an answer.
no.
5 into 25, 4 into 25 by 3 is 100 by 3. Is it more than 55?
No.
6 into 25 is 120, 150 by 3. Is it more than 55?
No.
25 into 8 is 200 by 3. Is it more than 55?
Yes.
And 25 into 7 is 175 by 3.
Yes.
So how many subjects?
2.
2. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. All right. moving ahead. Okay, this is a cat question. Let's try this. In a stockpile of products produced by 3 machines, 30% were manufactured by M1 and M2 respectively. So clearly when I talk about 3 machines, if 40% is manufactured by M1 and 30 by M2, remaining how much will be manufactured by M3?
30.
30. Right. And because everything is given to me in terms of percentage, I think I can safely assume the total to be 100. And I can, instead of percentage, I can talk about the numbers.
Yes.
Right? Which means machine 1 is manufacturing 40, machine 2 is manufacturing 30, and machine 3 is manufacturing 30. Now 3% of M1 are defective. What is 3% of 40? Or what I would do is to make it easy, I'll take 400, 300, 300. Doesn't matter, no?
Yes, ma'am.
So my total is 1000. Okay. Now what is 3% of M1? What is 1% of 400?
4.
4. So 3% will be
12.
12. Similarly, what is 1% of M2?
3.
3. And 95% of M3 are not defective, which means 5% are defective. So my 5%
Yes.
would be
15.
So how many defective products? 30.
30.
What is the percentage of defective products in the stockpile? So 30 is what percentage of 1000 basically?
3%.
3%. Are we clear?
Yes.
Simple. Whenever you see all percentages, assume what is comfortable to you and move ahead. Try not to use variables and equations wherever possible. Do not try to get into lengthier methods. Yeah?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Next. So this is again common sense question. A is the average of n consecutive odd numbers starting with x. Okay. So let's say there is x plus 3, there is x plus 5, because all are consecutive odd numbers. It goes on. Doesn't matter. But average of these numbers is A. B is the average of n consecutive odd numbers again, starting with x plus 4. So x plus 4, x plus 6, x plus 8. It goes on. Again, same number of numbers, n and n. And the average is B. What can you say about A and B?
X minus x plus minus 4 of 4.
So you just have to see this series and this series. This series, the average is A. What can you say about the numbers of this series and this series? Can I say every number
Is
has
increased
increased
by
by
4.
4? Correct?
Yes.
In fact, this I have written.
For the first one, we can get x plus 2.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And
So
yes.
every number has increased by 4. So average also has to increase by 4.
Yes.
So B minus A always has to be 4, independent of what is X and what is N.
Yes. Correct.
Understood? So this is a common sense question. If you understand the concept of averages, you can solve this. Okay.
Yes.
Next, similar, again common sense question. Consider a sequence of 7 consecutive integers. The average of first 5 is n. What will be the average of all 7? And remember, all 7 are consecutive. The average of first 5 is n.
So for first 5 it's n, then the next two numbers will obviously increase. They are consecutive.
Correct.
So the average cannot be n.
Okay. So for first 5 numbers, which number will indicate the average?
The third number.
So can I say the third number will be n?
Yes.
What will be the fourth number?
N plus 1.
Because it is consecutive.
Yes.
And for the 7 numbers, which number will indicate the average?
N plus 1. Okay.
Okay. The complexity is increasing. Consider the set 2, 3, 4 up to 2n plus 1, where n is a positive integer larger than 2007. Define x as the average of odd integers in S and y is the average of even integers in S. Find the value of x minus y. So first of all, you tell me 2n plus 1 is odd or even?
Odd?
Odd, no? Right?
Yes.
Which means if I start with 2, 3, 4 and it goes to some odd number at the end, which means how many odd integers will be there? So um, let's say if you're starting with, for example, if I'm starting with 2 and going up to 9, just for an example's sake, 2 to 9, how many numbers are there?
8.
There will be 8 numbers. Where how many odd numbers will be there?
4.
4. And how many even numbers will be there? Right. So if x is the average of odd numbers, 3, 5, 7, 9 ka average will be 6, correct?
Yes.
And similarly, y is the average of even numbers. So 2, 4, 6, 8 ka average will be 5, correct?
Yes.
So x minus y is 1. Okay.
Okay.
So if the last number is 9, of course, last number is much larger. But does that change my result or not? We'll try with one more example. Let me take my last number as 11. Okay. So again, there are 5 odd numbers. Their average will be 7. And there are
Yes.
5 even numbers. Their average would be 6. The difference is still 1.
Yes.
Are you getting what I'm trying to do?
Yes.
जितने भी ज्यादा numbers होंगे ending with the odd number, of course my number of odd numbers and even numbers will always be equal, and my difference in the average of odd and even will always be 1, irrespective of what n is.
Got it.
You don't need to do it till 2007.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
All right, moving ahead. Okay, now this is that addition subtraction which we have learned. So I strictly want you to do this mentally and not using pen and paper. Average weight of 10 people is 50. If one person is added, the average increases by 1 kg. What is the weight of the new person?
So the new average is 51. And
How did we do? You remember 10 students, 10 chocolates?
Yes.
I gave you the first example. When one student enters, the average increases by 1. Same thing, when one person is added to the group, because the average increases, first thing that he will at least get the weight equal to the old average,
50, yes.
plus he will get how much extra?
51.
He will get how much extra? 1 for.
11, sorry.
So how much did he get in total?
61.
Did you understand this?
Yes.
Old average plus the extra part. That is how you should remember. So your mind should calculate only this much, nothing else.
Okay.
Come on, again, test your mind.
So this will be old minus the person removed. So 161 minus.
Again, read this question. One person is removed. So, of course, first he'll take his share of 162. Correct?
Yeah.
But as soon as he goes, the average also reduces by 1. So, he's taking one more extra from the remaining people.
Yes.
So, how many extra?
So 162 plus 4. So 4 extra. Okay, so here also we are taking the extra only. We don't deduct anything.
No, because when he's going out, he's taking more from the class. It is same as a student is moving out, and as soon as he moves out, the average of the class reduces. So he takes his
Yes.
share plus he takes extra from the remaining students.
Okay.
Sure that you understand, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, let's try this. Come on.
So, 25, 27 plus 5. 27 plus 4. Yes.
Why 4?
2 years. Okay, 2 years is reducing, so 8. Yes.
Understood. So it is same
Yeah.
as removing a student from the class. He goes out, so he takes
Yes.
his share of 27 plus he takes 2 extra from each. Okay.
Yes.
Let's try this. The average height of 32 toddlers increased by 4 inches when 2 of them leave the group. So let's say A and B are leaving the group. Okay.
Yeah.
So this A plus B will take how much with them? See, I don't know the old average as of now. Correct?
Yes.
Let's say my old average is X. Fine. So when I say two of them are leaving the group, so they will take at least their share of 2x.
Yes.
And as soon as they leave the group, the average of the remaining increase by 4, which means they are giving that 4 extra to the remaining people.
Yes.
So remaining are how many?
30.
So 4 into 30 is
120.
where x is the old average. Right now I don't have the information, so I'm using a variable. Did we understand this?
So when the average increases, then we deduct the extra, and when the average is just decreasing, if a person is leaving the group, then we add the extra to the
If
old
you
average.
remember like this, you will get confused. So you try to remember with a student classroom concept that
Okay.
if these people are leaving the group, leaving the class, and the average is increasing, which means they will have to leave something behind.
Yes.
So they'll have to take out lesser.
From the previous, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
right. Now what is said? The average height of these two toddlers, which means A plus B divided by 2. Agree?
Yes.
Is 1/3 the average height of the original 32. So what is the average height of the original 32 that we have assumed?
X.
Agreed?
Yes.
Okay, so can I say A plus B is equal to 2/3 of X?
Yes.
Okay, so if I substitute A plus B in the above equation, what do I get? 2/3 of X is equal to 2X minus 120. Can we solve this and get the value of X?
Yes.
Tell me the value of X. Solve करके बताओ.
90.
Correct. Which means your old average is 90.
90.
Right? Now what
Yes.
is asked? What is the average height in inches of the remaining 30 toddlers? So what happens after these two toddlers leave? The remaining 30 toddlers, the average increases by 4. So what is the average of the remaining 30 toddlers?
2 into 90 minus 120.
No.
No, 90. The total will be 90 into.
What is happening? There are 32 people with an
Yeah.
average of 90. Now 2 are leaving. As soon
So,
as 2 leaves, for the remaining 30, the average reduces by 4 inches.
yes.
Sorry, increases by 4 inches. The average for these 30 becomes 94.
Okay.
That is what is asked, no?
Yes.
What you said, I could have gone by that method also. I substitute 90 over here. I get the value of A plus B. So I get the value of those two toddlers. Then I subtract the value of those two from the all 32. Then I get the value of remaining 30. And I divide by 30 and get the value 94.
Okay.
Are you getting it?
Yes.
But I will not do that. Because I'm directly told ना जैसे ही वो दो चले जाते हैं my average increases by 4. So I just need to increase this average by 4. That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. Should I move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
I think we are done with the questions on averages. Okay. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma'am.